What's up, guys? This is episode 53 of the Play On podcast with Jesse and Jerry. We're going to catch up with some of the league standings at the moment. There's only a couple weeks left, not too many matches left. So we're going to get right into it with Premier League. Let me share
Yeah,
my screen.
the Premier League's, I want to say basically done from my perspective, or I believe so. Liverpool has a 12-point gap to Arsenal. There's like what, 9 games left because they play 38, I believe, right?
That's correct. Yeah, Liverpool with 70 points kind of looks chalked. Don't know what else they could do for that. Um, Arsenal's in second with 58. Nottingham Forest in third with 54. And in fourth place is Chelsea with 49 points. Some huge outliers. Everyone's big club. Uh, Tottenham, Man U are in the bottom, 14th and 15th, 34 and 37. So they've been super mediocre. And then in the likes of Man City, they're right there fighting for fifth place. I don't know, Jesse. Not what I expected this season at all.
No, but you know what? I think we should have to some extent because we both knew that coming into the season, it wasn't gonna be like a regular season that we've come to know. Like there's each teams are playing so many more games than they ever have before. And so, especially Man City, because they still have the Club World Cup and they didn't really reinforce in the summer. So they were just injuries away from, falling apart. And especially their squad just didn't show up. Like the players that have been staples for them have sort of just, you know, not been to the level we've expected. Like Bernardo Silva, he's been like the constant guy for Pep. And this year he's been awful, really.
Yeah. So a lot of the things I do like to look at when looking at the league table that kind of tells you like the story of the season, and like how their season's going is their goal difference. The huge thing for me. To be champions, you need a huge goal difference. And right now, Liverpool looks like they have it in lock with plus 42 because it gives you like they have great offense and on top of that, great defense. But yeah, if you look at Man City's, normally they're high up there, like in the plus 30s. This season, it's plus 15. It's just a story to tell on how vulnerable they are at the back. Um, Given they haven't really made too many changes in the fullback positions, that's probably one of the biggest differences on the Man City's past seasons. They had a fully healthy Kyle Walker who wasn't washed. He's washed. He had to be let go. And they're still trying to fill that void because right now they're trying to play as many center backs as possible. They're playing Guardiola on the left. They're trying to play someone on the right, which is the I think the Uzbekistani player. Right now, it's
Yeah.
not paying too much dividends. They might have to give it the rest of the season for him to adapt to that position, or even yeah, just in general, try to figure something out because Ruben Diaz ain't it either. It's just like the
Well,
the Portuguese player you just mentioned, like Bernardo Silva. Ruben Diaz at one point was being held as one of the best center backs in the world. Right now, he's not.
Well, it's not even just him. John Stones, who English media have claimed to be like one of the greatest center backs like in the Premier League history, comparing him to like Rio Ferdinand and Vidic and all these things. And this year he's disappeared. So I don't know
Mhm.
like what just happened because so many players of theirs just fell off a cliff completely.
Yeah, a lot of the English players we do talk about, John Stones, um, and even what's his name, Phil Foden,
So yeah,
Jack Grealish. John Stones and Grealish have been super injury prone. Foden just completely out of focus. He's not the player he was. I don't know what's going on with him at this point. You gotta bench him or even think about selling him at the end of the season just to get as much value as possible and bring in a player like Ferki, not Ferki, yeah,
KFK. Yeah.
Cherki, because that he's a bargain, dude. You'll probably sell Foden for like 70 million and bring in Cherki for 20, and it's twice the player. Because I think Cherki right now he has like last time I checked before it was before the break he was having like 9 assists and 9 goal contributions in total in the past 5 matches. That's incredible. It's something teams aren't buying for some fucking reason. I want to know if it's his health wise, his attitude, but no one seems to be touching him, and I think he'll be useful for this Man City team.
Yeah.
But yeah, going over to like Chelsea, I am very surprised they're in fourth. They started out very hot, but slowly they're slowing down. As you can see, past 5 matches, they have 3 losses and 2 wins. So
Well, I think it was just we've known Chelsea have had talent. They've spent enough money to, have quality players. It's just that they've always been, an overabundance of a squad. They just needed a coach to, just stick with an 11 and then, have them play a system. And that's what happened at the beginning of the season. But eventually the players just started falling off. Like Cole Palmer, since like the start of the year, hasn't been the same. I don't know if it's been injury because right now he's currently injured, or if it's just an over reliance on him, but he hasn't put up the same numbers. And I didn't expect him to put the same numbers, but he hasn't looked the same, the same as last year.
yeah, and that was my biggest thing for Cole Palmer. He hasn't really shown up in big games. And yeah, I didn't expect him to put up the same numbers as last year because last year he had like I think a total of like 10 plus penalties taken. So that added to his goal tally. This year they're not getting as many penalties and it's clearly showing because he's their go-to penalty taker. So yeah, Palmer, I don't think he's hype. I still think I still rate him over Foden at this point. But yeah, there's issues with the Chelsea squad just being too big, too many rotations. They haven't found like the right combination of players.
And plus, my biggest problem with Chelsea is they buy all these other players, or they buy players that are below their level. Like they've bought like five goalkeepers, and yet none of the goalies that they've bought have proven to be good. Like Roberto Sanchez, he got replaced by Jorgensen, and Jorgensen has also had his faults throughout the season. So I expect them to go for another goalie in the summer, and who knows if they get the right one.
Yeah. So they should be spending their money on center backs. A good striker, not Nkunku, who's a secondary striker, and they'll be good, but like they just horribly spent funds, and I blame that on the ownership group because I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to find the next flashy winger, I guess.
Because even for like a center back, they had to recall Trevor Chalobah, who they were trying to get rid of because their center backs weren't doing it.
Hmm. Nottingham Forest, you just gotta applaud them at this point because yeah, where they're at, I didn't expect their what's it called? Their investment's paying off, and it's Nuno's team. Wait, this
Yeah,
is not this is Nuno's team, right? Or
yeah,
who?
Nuno Espiritu Santo. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, goes to show you that Tottenham can't pick coaches because Nuno they should have been given time. Well, then again, you got to see the squad he was working with. Tottenham was super offensive. They weren't as defensive. So I think having the reins of like how the squad should be is paying dividends for him.
Well, I think the biggest problem with like with when he went to Tottenham and it's still currently the problem is he wasn't in charge of recruitment, so
Hmm.
he couldn't really build the squad that he wanted to and his image. It was just like, oh, this is the players we got for you. Do what you have, and like there you go, get results.
Yeah, and clearly when a coach and the ownership group are aligned, great things happen. Tottenham, take notes. Nottingham Forest has been, I think, what was it like? This is like their fifth straight season in the Premier League in first division. I don't know. But
Let me check.
clearly, Tottenham has been in like first division for a good while, and these guys are getting it right compared to them. But
Well, it's also like the squad of players that have been like discarded because like Chris Wood, so many teams like make or like people make fun of him. He's got so many go like what is it? He's in double digits for them. People say he's not that good, but he's proven it with Newcastle. He gets a job done. Elanga has shown up. Hudson-Odoi got discarded by Chelsea, and he's playing really well. And Morgan Gibbs-White has like he's always been like a bright spot for them. And
mhm.
now that he has support, he's like finally showing that he can play at a higher level.
Yeah, you can see it right here. And Elanga, these numbers are pretty fucking great. 5 goals, 8 assists, like just your goal contributions is crazy. Same thing with Wood. What is that, 4? Just he has a couple of assists, but like yeah,
Mhm.
being goal scorer, that's your main thing. And this team, which no one expected them to be like this good. pretty insane. And yeah, he's even outperforming his XG. No one likes to talk about it, but he is. Who the fuck likes XG? Why would they name? So who would ever name a podcast XG? We
Yeah,
would.
I don't
I would. That was me.
know.
But
They've
yeah,
been they've been 3 years in the Premier League. This is
3 years in
the
Premier League and like I I don't know if they sustain top four. They're more than likely gonna get a European spot. I don't know if it'll be a Europa League or Conference League, but I do think they're gonna get a European spot. But right now they're kind of sitting somewhat comfortably with 54 points.
Yeah, they might even challenge Arsenal for that second spot.
Yeah. But yeah, Arsenal. Honestly, I had them out of my top four, and I'm sad it's not there. But yeah, overall, great defensive team. They've only allowed 24 goals in the first 29 matches, so that's definitely less than a goal per match. So it's good to know Arteta's system's working. I was just playing super defensively, not attacking. But even in the attacking, you have a decent amount of goals. But in those big games, like sometimes they just can't score.
Yeah, everyone knows how I feel about Arsenal. Um, Objectively, this everyone expected them. They themselves, I saw multiple fans. Oh, this said this is their year, and I didn't know how they expected that because the recruitment was not there in the summer. They got an additional center back with Calafiori. They got a CDM with Mikel Merino, who they now turned into a striker, and they got Raheem Sterling, who's like he's clearly over the hill.
Yeah. And even looking at this, like their stats for like top goal scorer, it's pretty concerning because it's Kai Havertz. Clearly, he's pretty much out for the season. But like no one's in the double digits. And
Yeah.
that's gonna be an issue. And you're clearly not gonna win a title with just your best striker scoring 9 goals in like 29 games or however many games he's already played this season. It's just not
Well,
a winning method.
we've said it multiple times throughout a couple years now that they've needed a striker to lead them to the next level, and every year they haven't gone on and done it. And we've also said, oh, they need a backup for Saka so he could get some rest. They haven't done it. Now they've had Ethan Nwaneri who shows that he could be a possible backup, but that we've also said they need more creativity because they're just over reliant on Odegaard to create something. And teams have caught on that, oh, you stop Odegaard, you stop Arsenal,
Mhm.
and yet they still haven't gone and done it.
Yeah, and who knows what kind of season Bukayo Saka would have if he didn't get injured. Because yeah, he was on pace to have crazy numbers for assists. He would probably been on like double digits, or like he's already in double digits, but he would have been on like 20 assists by now. Because
Yeah,
10
but
assists is insane, but like again, you don't have anyone scoring the goals.
also how many of those assists came from corners because he was their
Hmm.
corner taker.
True.
That's what they've been doing a lot. Uh we've talked a lot about how they've sort of brought in the pick method for corners and led to a lot of, a lot of goals for them. And then that sort of seemed like the only method that they could get goals from. So I'm not surprised that they're not title challengers because they haven't looked like it. I just don't know where they get the confidence from to, even say that, and especially the confidence in Mikel Arteta because he's been there for since 2019. And the only thing he has to show for himself after spending a lot of money is an FA Cup.
And speaking of the managers with like one season under their belt, they're about to get their first Premier League title, something that Arteta hasn't done and it's not spent that much money. Arne Slot, Liverpool's teams looks like they're cruising through the championship. Clearly, they have nothing else to play for. There's no way they bottle this at this point. Just these dreams coming true of Arsenal not winning again.
Yeah. I think this Arne Slot proved himself to be a top class coach because he's sort of revitalized his team because towards the end of last year we saw Klopp just like and the squad just looked like they were just, struggling to go forward or struggling along. And now he's brought back the team to, look sort of exciting because he made the midfield look good again. He moved up McAllister. He made Gravenberch into a CDM, and he's looked like one of the best in the world at his position. And Mohamed Salah was decent. And yeah,
Yeah. Mohamed Salah's numbers a little inflated, especially with the penalties. Um, Literally he's top penalty scorer. But yeah, this is like the kind of squad you need. You still need someone to score 20 plus goals in order for you to win a Premier League title. Of course, Harry Kane is the outlier. But
But
yeah, like when it comes down to those things, because even like their second top goal scorer has nine, which was Arsenal's top goal scorer. And it clearly shows the levels like to this. And knowing that they're probably gonna lose Salah now, do they challenge the Premier League for next year? I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. That all depends who they buy in the summer to replace Salah as like a goal scorer. But at this point, I don't know who they would get.
I think next year for the Premier League is going to be very interesting because a lot of teams are going to be going into sort of a rebuild mode, and other teams try and challenge. Because Man City and Liverpool, I think they're depending on how things go, are both going to be rebuilding but trying to challenge. Because Liverpool could potentially lose both or Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah, who have been staples in that team for a long time now, and they're going to have to try to replace that production. And there's also rumors of other players, possibly leaving with Darwin Nunez, Luis
Mhm.
Diaz.
Yeah, so many, especially with those links with Darwin Nunez. Unjustified, in my opinion, of getting all that criticism for missing the penalty. Curtis Jones also missed it. You guys aren't crucifying him. But yeah, like you said, just so many players leaving. What is it? Salah, Van Dijk, Nunez, and who else did you
Trent,
mention?
Trent.
Trent. Alisson is also rumored. Luis Diaz is linked to Barcelona, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think Allison's could potentially stay for one more season, especially, but I think, it's gonna be tough seeing him stay with Marshmallow, joining up. As-
Mamardashvili.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where Van Dijk goes. I think I think he goes to Spain.
Oh, well,
Is
he's been linked to PSG and Barca and us, but who
who
knows where
knows?
he goes.
Yeah, he probably signs a last minute deal or something. Because I do see him staying.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Moving on to the best league in the world in La Liga. Barcelona's in first place. Real Madrid is in close second, tied in points. Atletico Madrid is in third,
Well, you guys
and
still have that game in hand.
Bilbao.
So
Yeah, Barcelona has a game in the hand, and we could clearly break off the points. But at the moment, we do have the tiebreaker because La Liga goes off tiebreakers for whatever reason. I don't know. But let's say Madrid wins the game. It's still tied, and then we go on to goal difference. But yeah, Barcelona has been having a great 2025. They are undefeated at the moment, knock on wood. Um, but yeah, they seem to be like the best team in Europe at the moment as far as like goal scoring wise. Do I want to glaze them that much? Probably not. Hopefully not everything goes good. But here are the stats for the players. Lewandowski still with 22 goals. I feel like he's been at 20 for like 3 months.
yeah, he hasn't been scoring. That's more like he got those numbers on like the beginning of the season, and it's been like that ever since.
Yeah, then Rafinha close second with 13. Ferran Torres with 7. The super sub. Lamine Yamal 11 assists. Rafinha 8 assists, and Pedri with 4. Yeah, this overall squad just firing on all cylinders in the attack. Lewandowski could obviously have more goals, but he wasted a lot of chances, sadly.
Same with Ferran Torres.
Ferran Torres too. But hey, it's a super sub. You could get 7 goals. You'll get sold off for like 70 million, and I'm happy with that.
That's if he wants to leave, Jerry.
Yeah. Um, the squad, it's interesting because their fixtures, they play this Thursday, which is still technically international break against Osasuna.
And then on Sunday against Girona.
Yeah, and then they play against Sunday and Girona, and then we have Champions League the same week on the second, and then we play Betis at home, then Dortmund again, and then Leganes. Oh no, Dortmund for the first time. But yeah, it's not an easy schedule. We'll see how it pans out, but luckily, Pedri did get rested for most of at least the second match for the Nations League. Lamine Yamal didn't. Cubarsí is going to be healthy, and Iñigo Martinez recovered from his injury. But yeah, the squad looks like they're ready. And then we're going to this mid team, Real Madrid. Yeah, and Mbappe, no, I didn't expect him to have this many goals.
Yeah, he's had the uptick. As we've mentioned previously, he's started to I want to say like January, like the midpoint of the season, he's finally started, getting some goals, starting building up his confidence because it looked like his confidence was depleted. And then he started playing for the team and he started getting more results for him.
Yeah, Vinicius Jr. clearly has a well, this is the kind of season he had last year. It just got super inflated because of the whole Balón de Oro campaign. But this is what typically he has. Um, and again, how people are labeling it as the down year. He kind of is so slowly. He hasn't been showing up in some matches, but still, for him not to show up in some matches and still be in second place and challenging for the title in a very close race, it's super impressive. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, Jesse, your Real Madrid doesn't have an easier schedule than Barcelona because again, they play every 3 days for like the rest of the year.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be tough because we know we have a tough schedule, and then even when the season finishes, we still have to go play more games. And we already have a thin squad. I'm actually surprised we're in second and having such a close race because considering the thin squad we have, Ancelotti not rotating, and us basically having no defenders for a good amount of time, we're still there competing.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Ancelotti reacts to the schedule. I don't know if you've seen it. He complained that his players need 72 hours or they won't play. So it sounds like they might forfeit matches. We'll see. I think it's all a
Yeah,
bluff.
yeah, I think it's a bluff. But the thing is, with him is he so should be rotating players, but he says that, but he doesn't rotate the squad, so it's just puts more burden on the team.
Yeah,
Like Guler and Endrick should have gotten a lot more minutes than they have gotten. It's so dumb.
yeah, definitely is. Especially with the center back situation or even the fullback situation. Like the right back one is probably the worst one just because clearly he has lost confidence in Lucas Vázquez even playing that position because he's playing for Federico Valverde at that position at this point. So, and then he's like changing him mid-game, but still leaving Valverde and putting him in the midfield for a recovery role. But yeah, he's gonna burn out his players because yeah, they're coming back from this international break playing full 180 minutes from like both matches. So Ancelotti didn't think this one through.
Yeah, it's been tough. And it's partly his fault, but also the board's fault because in the summer, instead of, rebuilding the squad and getting more bodies, knowing that this tough season was coming up, that we're gonna need a lot more players to, manage through it, we went out and just got Mbappe.
And for those that are saying like, oh, but we got him on the free, like, nope. Ask him how much his bonus was, and then you'll find out if it was free. Because that's what ate up the whole pretty much budget for the summer.
Yeah.
And then there's Atletico Madrid in third place. Again, very close third place. They're only 4 points behind, but anything could happen in this league. They clearly don't have Champions League left to play. They have the Copa del Rey, but they might put all their eggs in one well, in both of those baskets and see how it goes. And this is surprising to me for the top goal scorers, Alexander Sorloth. Those 11 goals must come from like the Barcelona matches or something. But yeah, he has 11 and has the equal same amount of goal as Julian Alvarez.
Well, they had a rough start to the year because I remember we were both saying that they're probably the most talented team on paper or like the most complete team because they have both starting 11 and bench to go along with them.
Mhm.
And then it's also a very Cholo team in his image. So we're like, oh, this might be tough. And at the beginning of the year, they struggled immensely,
Yeah.
some to like fit into the system, but now they're starting to like starting to hit on all cylinders. And Julian Alvarez recently has been looking like a world beater.
Yeah. And it's super interesting, especially with like Giuliano Simeone breaking through the squad, the coach's son. Some would say it's biased, but like honestly, sometimes he does look like this on the same level as Julian Alvarez when it comes to that pressure. Because like having those two on top is fucking annoying. I'll tell you that right now. Because both of these two players, Julian Alvarez and Simeone, do not stop fucking running.
Yeah, and
So
he's a perfect Cholo player. He's like sort
he's
of
literally his dad.
Yeah, he's like his dad because he doesn't stop running. He's very good offensively, like for no reason, and
Hmm.
he tracks back and he defends like his life's on like depends on it. He's like a perfect player for this system.
Yeah. And like again, he had a crazy breakthrough season. He even sat down what's his name? Not Lodi. Why do I want to keep saying Lodi? It's another attacker. Not Lamar's still in the team? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
but he's like no.
Lino. He sat down Lino because Lino was a constant starter last season.
And
But yeah.
and that just makes the squad even stronger because just having Samuel Lino come off the bench is awful because he's so quick and he's so dangerous too as well.
Yeah, and again, it's just a perfect mix. Because look, go back to the overview and we'll show you like technically what their starting 11 should be. Just having, well, Griezmann doesn't run as much as he used to, but having Julian Alvarez run at you, Simeone, De Paul, Barrios, which Barrios has recently been getting a lot of flack for his tackles, and
Yeah.
Lino, just it's annoying, dude. Just playing this whole squad is annoying.
And then also don't forget Llorente because he will sometimes also move into midfield and just also still run as well.
Yeah, and even Lenglet, dude, he was pretty much chalked for Barcelona, and he's having a great season with Simeone. And again, I've always liked Lenglet. He's had a huge couple of spells of having like bad runs, but he's a great defender.
Yeah.
But
Like we said, it's like a perfect Cholo squad. And if it wasn't for that tough start to the season, it would they might be running away with it.
then in fourth place, our boys El Bilbao with um, Ernesto Valverde as the coach, having a decent season. Still kind of, they could still low-key challenge the title. They're only 8 points behind, but
Yeah.
they're having a good season. Valverde clearly comes back, improving the squad tremendously. Nico Williams staying is a huge improvement in general. Is he gonna stay again this season, next season? I don't know.
I doubt it, but you know.
Yeah, it's again just one of those clubs that just constantly works, and eventually just drowns you with like the amount of pressure they do. But Gordo Sabel, great player. Then they have Unai Simon, the starter for Spain, who's a great keeper. But I have seen him like sometimes even get benched, but just good in general. And again, this squad is still far away from even winning anything. Because going back to their sheet, Sunset is the top goal scorer with 13. It's still not enough to like be one of those title challengers.
It's I think Athletic Bilbao has always just earned respect from all of us just because of the transfer policy and the makeup of the team, how they only play players from the Basque Country or the players that they've raised. So it limits the profile of players they can get, but yet they're always competing. And the current day age where Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid are building these more expensive squads, more talented squads, and especially like with players outside of, just Spain, it's really tough to compete, but just them being able to like be in fourth spot and theoretically be able to compete is like a merit to them.
Yeah. And I wonder if in the future they'll end up breaking that transfer policy. I do see it. They have extended the rules, like saying like somewhere along your family tree, someone has to be related in relation to like Basque country. But I do see them eventually breaking it because the money's gonna be churning in eventually.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
Mhm.
just it's tough to keep up with like football nowadays with just that policy.
And again, they're still in the Europa League. They're fighting for those positions. And right now they are fighting in the Europa League, trying to win it. So again, it's another horrible run for them. Well, at least they have a little bit of a break, but still, they're facing Rangers in the Europa League. That's going to be an interesting matchup.
Well, they can't completely focus on that because Villarreal and Betis are both on 44 points,
Hmm.
so they could still both, try to snatch that fourth spot. And both those teams are very good, solid teams.
Definitely. Moving on to the MLS.
And all right.
The Bundesliga, the one Jesse's been keeping an eye on. He wants, and it's possible. There's still a couple matches left. Bayern Munich's in first place with 62. Bayern Leverkusen is in close second. Since Bayern Munich stumbled, they're only 6 points behind with 56. Mainz is in third with 45. Eintracht Frankfurt is tied with them with 45 points as well in fourth. Leipzig is just nearby, 3 points behind. Same thing with Freiburg. So it's an interesting matchup between like these squads. Clearly it's just a race between these two, Bayern Munich and Leverkusen. But other than that, it's kind of chalked.
Yeah, it's my dream is for Leverkusen to make this comeback and get the win.
Mhm. And now that they're locked out of the Bundesliga, they can. Because again, Bayern Munich's schedule is not fucking easy.
Uh,
It
Champions
just,
League.
yeah, it just dirties everything up. My bad, yeah, in the Champions League. So they have St. Pauli, 29th, and then the fourth they have Augsburg, and they face Inter Milan on the 8th. 4 more days. They have the derby, then 4 more days. So yeah, Leverkusen can easily catch up. I do see Bayern Munich stumbling because of the schedule.
Yeah.
Because yeah, they don't have easy matchups in the Bundesliga. Let's see. Heidenheim. And they play Heidenheim away too, so it's not easy. Dortmund at home. They face Augsburg away.
And then mine's is gonna be tough as well.
Yeah, just a bunch of tough matches for them. But these are the squad stats. Harry Kane with 21 goals. How many of those are from penalty? I need to know.
Probably like 9.
You guessed it. He's putting up most solid numbers.
Is
Musiala
it
with
9?
11. Yeah, it is
Is it?
exactly right.
That's funny.
Then Michael Olise has 7 assists, 8 goals, which is it's an all right season. It's pretty quiet, but it's just because how Bayern plays. Like he should be having better numbers, in my opinion.
Well, it's crazy because they're doing for a manager that shouldn't be managing Bayern Munich at all.
Yeah, I think was it Sam Daichi or something like that?
Yeah, Sam Dyke, he came out and said, "Yeah, I don't know how you go from Burnley putting them in debt because he spent a bunch of money when he went to the Premier League and then had historically like one of the worst seasons and
Mhm.
then goes to Bayern Munich. Doesn't make sense.
Connections, bro. You gotta make those connections.
Apparently because he plays attractive football, but I haven't seen that from Bayern at all.
The only time we did see it was in the Champions League against Leverkusen. That's the only time I have seen it.
Yeah. So hopefully they keep on stumbling. Bayern Leverkusen gets the win, and my dream of Harry Kane not getting a title and uh company also, keeps on.
And these are Leverkusen stats. Patrick Schick, he can really set down Boniface. Boniface is no longer the starting striker. Patrick Schick took over that role. And Florian Wirtz, what a player.
He is an outstanding talent.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's being linked to Bayern and Man City. Hopefully, he makes a right choice and doesn't go to Bayern, but he is an outstanding talent. And yeah, Germany's future looks bright with him and Musiala.
Yeah. Even Granit Xhaka, he's having a pretty good season and when the assist department has just in general. Pretty cool.
Yeah, both Alejandro Grimaldo and Frimpong have both their numbers have slightly fallen off from last year,
Mhm.
but I think it's to be expected because now more teams are paying a lot more attention to both of them, so they can't have the same, impact as last year.
Yeah, they can. Then Alex Garcia wasn't really the player we expected, but he's doing all right for his first season. Jonathan Tah, great center back, but we still don't know his future. Still
Well,
linked with Barcelona.
he's linked to Barcelona and Bayern.
Yeah, but yeah, this team, I don't know how they keep it together. I know for a fact. Where is he?
Who?
Where's Wirtz?
That's not. He doesn't appear in the last starting 11 because he came off the bench. I think they were resting him.
Oh, well, either way, it's season stats. So I'm surprised. But yeah, it's a great team overall. And just they could have challenged it for the title a lot better, but they clearly had that hiccup in the beginning of the season where they were trying to break the game plan around them. But
Well, it was also like after competing in every tournament or and for everything last year, they just looked like they were a little bit, had that championship hangover, and they just had to overcome it.
yeah, after never winning a title and finally winning it, it makes sense. But Yeah, if they would have won a couple of their games at the beginning, yeah, I would have been happy. Or at least I know that definitely you would have.
Yeah.
And then mine's silently having a great season, and with 45 points tied with Eintracht Frankfurt. These
I
teams are great.
I know their striker has good numbers, and also Jae Sung Lee is like looks good.
Yeah. I know Mines is a well, both of these teams are great at home.
Hmm.
So it's just facing like the huge teams away, like Bayern Munich, Dortmund, and beating them away. That's the huge thing, and just being consistent in general. But yeah, having the numbers is 15 goals per for the season so far is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then this is Eintracht Frankfurt's Marmoush. Sadly, he's not there, but Etekite, what is Etekite?
Yeah, he's picked up the pace for them
Mhm.
in Marmoush's absence. He's pl been playing really well and has but now has links moved away for the summer.
Yeah, I was gonna let you know. Like, yeah, he's clearly being linked to a lot of squads, and we'll see what ends up happening with him. Because yeah, it's hard to keep these players, especially in Germany, when like top clubs around the world are looking for you.
And also when they can throw all the money they want around.
Yep, that's another one. Last but not least is our favorite Serie A. Inter in first, Napoli in second, Atalanta in third, Bologna in fourth, Juventus in fifth, who just fired their manager.
I'm disappointed because I don't think they should have done it.
Mm-mm.
I think it's
They're super preemptive, especially for the spot they're in. They're in fifth place. They're still challenging for top four.
yeah, and I think also the biggest problem is it wasn't Thiago Motta's general fault. Like he's coming into a team that is more younger than a lot of teams. Like we look at the squad, and he's brought up a lot of these young players that are becoming a focal point of the team, like Yildiz, and Mbeumo, Conceição, and then in the summer, because Huijsen from Bournemouth, he was part of Juventus. They had loaned him out to Roma for with Jose Mourinho, and he did really well. And then they thought they were, he thought they were keeping him same as him. They told him, "Oh, you're gonna play with us next year." And then I randomly they sold him to Bournemouth for 15 million. And then throughout the season they had injury problems because Bremer got an ACL injury, so now they had to try to find a center back.
So it's just
It's
really bad decisions from the ownership group, which very impulsive. They're letting the message get to them. Yeah, sure, they lost the last two matches, but give the guy time. You guys are in fifth place. Uh,
oh, oh,
all right, we'll speed run this because I fucked up and then press record.
oh. We start with Serie A.
What was the table? We'll speed run it. We'll have to go through it. Yeah, I fucked up. We did a whole episode, this whole second part of the episode, and I didn't press record. And I was like, oh, let me stop the recording. It says pause record. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, we went on a whole rant. Uh, those are like the hidden episodes that you guys don't get to watch. I'm just trying to pull up the
That's
thing right
funny.
now because yeah, I am kind of checked after that. So Bologna's in fourth. We're saying how this
Thiago
guy should have
Motta,
stayed.
yeah, Thiago Motta should say Juventus is a mess. The board looks like they're headless chickens. They don't know what they're doing. They're thinking of selling the young players on the team. Um, Napoli, they look solid, but uh,
For me,
yeah,
it's not enough goal scoring. What's it called? The top goal scorer has 10, so they have like simulation with Arsenal. Then
Inter,
Inter just
the
running
best
riot.
over, yeah, best overall squad, veteran squad, but they know how to win. Inzaghi has been really good as
Hmm.
a really good coach. Weekend.
Jesse picks. Let's go over picks.
Barca Osasuna.
Give me Barcelona.
I picked Osasuna. Uh, Saturday. Espanyol.
Espanyol.
I've Atletico Madrid. I picked a draw.
I picked Atletico Madrid.
Real Madrid, Leganes, Madrid.
I got your boys, Madrid.
Frankfurt, Stuttgart.
I got Frankfurt.
I picked Frankfurt as well. Uh, Ru- uh,
FA Cup.
Crystal Palace, Fulham.
Give me
I picked
Fulham.
I picked Crystal Palace. Brighton versus Nottingham Forest.
Forest.
I picked Brighton. Sunday, Barca versus Girona.
Barcelona.
Girona. Bilbao versus Osasuna. Bilbao.
I got Bilbao.
Betis Sevilla. Betis.
I'm with you. I got Betis.
Dortmund Mainz. Mainz.
I got mines.
Serie A. Fiorentina versus Atalanta. La Viola.
Atalanta to keep the race interesting.
Napoli Milan. I picked Captain America.
I picked Napoli. And Milan is too inconsistent.
FA Cup. Preston versus Aston Villa. I picked Preston.
Aston Villa. Unai Emery.
And then Bournemouth Man City. I picked Bournemouth.
It's hard to pick it, but I got Man City, and it's a crazy thing to say.
And that was a short version because everything else is gone.
Yeah. We literally talked and yapped for like a good while. And then I'm like, oh shit. We ended the episode. I'm like, yeah, let me stop recording. So I can start editing it. And it says, oh, press to record. I'm like, oh,
Oh, that's gonna be something that you guys will never see the light of day, but it was great. It was great.
hey, you live
Great
and you learn. You live
great
and you learn.
banter. Something me and Jerry had a Mandela effect in there that you guys will not know about.
Oh, if anything, that's great, dude. That makes us look. Oh, yeah, that was that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say what it was because it was hilarious, but no, they'll never know.
They'll never know. Maybe in the future, if we start like a Patreon or something like that, we'll say it in there.
No, 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 never, dude. Then we'll start like looking like geniuses when people like start to say like, "Oh, this guy, so and so." Like, no, actually,
True, true, true.
true. We
You guys will,
educated ourselves.
yeah, you guys will never know what happened.
I know, it's so fucking stupid. It's so funny. We're like both panicking about it too.
It was.
All right,
Uh,
guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Sorry, this was a short one just because I forgot to press record.
Peace, guys. See you
Peace.
next time.